Howdy, folks.
Welcome to this episode of Vern's Misadventures. In this, we're going to share a little experience that I've had here. So, what was it? About a year ago, January, we picked up this 2018 Fusion here. Right? It's a hybrid. We love it to death. And, of course, my truck, the F-250, 6-volt Power Stroke, right? It's a 2006. So, kind of to try to update it and make it more functional. At one point I added this Android head unit right here, right? And one of the coolest things about the Fusion that we liked was the ability to basically plug your phone in and have your Google Maps and your Pandora and all that available right there on the Sync 3 on the screen there, right? The head unit has apps of its own because it's basically a fully functional Android tablet. The issue that we found with this EO9 head unit, the issue that I have with it is, although I have unlimited data through my cell phone plan, I don't have unlimited hotspot data. So I found that I was running up against my limits when I was trying to sling the internet from the cell phone to the EO9 unit. And then another thing I've noticed too is whenever I try to use Google Maps, it's very slow to start. Let's just put it this way. I'm not 100% happy with this unit. Maybe I can clean it out and improve the performance some, I don't know. I mess with it now and then and I have very little success with that. So point being, if you look here at this app right here, I bought this today. It was like $4 and change, almost $5, and it's called Head Unit Reloaded. And what it is it's an emulator where it basically allows the Android tablet to emulate the Microsoft Sync, and it works in conjunction with Android Auto. So we recently bought the S20, right? Samsung S20 here, and I was getting that set up, and in the process I wondered if there might be a way to gain the functionality of the Sync 3 system with my little cheapy little EO9 Android unit here that I've got in the truck. And so using that Head Unit Reloaded deal, once you get that installed and set up, right, the next trouble that I had was it kept I tried to just plug my new phone into it, but because it had never been set up on this phone yet, the Android Auto, it just basically kept blinking on and then failing and then closing and blinking on. It was so annoying. So I waited for Anita to get home from work with the Fusion today, and I plugged the new phone into the Fusion, you know, so rather than having some independent developers Head Unit Reloaded, basically it's a little clunky, I won't lie. Basically having that try to set up a new phone, Android Auto, at least on the S20, will not even launch to even set it up till you plug it into a sync. But once I was able to plug it into the Fusion and get the app set up for Android Auto, well, I'll show you what happens. So basically the EO9 came with this little adapter, and it's got a micro USB port right here, and it's got this adapter that goes to a regular USB. And so I plugged in my charge cable. So how do you like that? That's a lot of adapting, but it works. So when we plug the phone, if you watch the dash here, yeah, we'll pause that. So yeah, so now you see, as soon as I plug in my phone, I've got my Google Maps, right? And then from there I can I actually asked it to take me to work, but I mean, it works just like the real thing. And of course you see my Pandora right there. So anyway, there we go. So instead of having to do what I had been doing, which basically was to set my GPS right up here, which is the Google Maps, I would set it up here by the speedometer, you know, so I could use my phone and see it without having to take my eyes so far off the road. That's a little dicey, probably somewhat extra legal. So this way here, it's better, a little more legit looking. And what's really cool is, you know, I've got basically the same functionality as the Sync 3 without, you know, with a little $200 EON. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought it might be worthy of a short video. There's one other thing. So yeah, I mean, I could always sling the audio with the Bluetooth connection through to the radio, and that's all fine and good. But see, you wouldn't have the functionality on screen. You still have to fiddle with the phone if you wanted to change stations or something. Whereas this way, you can go to your stations here, you know, right on the screen here in the truck, and you know, basically you can select a different station or whatever. And so you know, fun stuff. So if I wanted to listen to the Death Punch, I could just put that on, or any other station I've got in here. You know, lately I've been favoring this Floyd Kramer. It's all instrumental and basically piano music and stuff like that. It's just chill music. I like a lot of variety of different music. Just kind of like switch things up, listen to different stuff. At any rate, I really like the functionality of it all, and you know, now my little $200 head unit, now it functions as good as, well, it functions similarly, how about that? It functions similarly to the Sync 3, and that's pretty dang cool. What's sad is people paid for the Sync 2, like my sister-in-law did in her Escape, and it doesn't offer this functionality. So, you know, I don't think there's any way to add it to the Sync 2. You have to have the Sync 3 system to do this. So way cool, definitely way cool. Got the map up here where you can actually see it, and a screen large enough to see it too, so that's nice. And no fiddling with the phone needed. So anyway, with that, I'm going to close out, and I will leave the name of the app in the description. You can get it in the Android Play Store if that interests you. Hey, with that, I want to thank you for watching. I invite you to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for subscribing if you have. And hey, y'all take care.